In Bethlehem, there was a story told of the gifts that were given in that stable of old. For most of the animals, the night of Christ's birth was a joyous time, for they each had a gift to give. The donkey gave his trough willingly for the baby to sleep in. And the sheep offered her wool to make that trough soft and comfortable. The cow's soft mooing calmed the baby when he cried. And the birds in the rafter, their song was a lullaby that made the baby sleep. But for little Spider, she didn't know what to give. All of the animals seemed so confident. They knew exactly what they could do. But she was a spider. She didn't have any soft fur to offer. The only sounds she made were tiny little squeaks. And her bed was a web. The baby would have no need of a web. And so she lay her head down on her web and she cried. A little bird came up. Little Spider, whatever is the matter? It's just that I don't know what to give. I don't have anything to give. I'm a spider and I want to give a gift to the baby, but I'm just a little spider. Oh, don't worry, little Spider assured the bird. If you keep trying, you will find the gift that only you can give. So little Spider decided to keep trying. And she stayed with the family wherever they went. She was so small she could crawl into Joseph's pack. And so it was that on the night that Joseph was warned in a dream that he must flee Bethlehem to keep his young child safe, well, she was there. A shepherd came to usher the young family up into the rocky crevices. He knew of a cave where they could hide until he could bring them a donkey and they could make their way to Egypt. And once settled inside, well, the wind outside began to whip through the cave, and the little spider noticed the young Christ child shiver. And she thought, oh, if the donkey were here, he is so large that he could block the entrance of the cave. And the Christ child, he would be warm. Or if the sheep were here, the sheep could offer her wool. Or if the cow were here, the moos of that cow would calm the child, or the bird's song would distract him. But they're not here. It's only me, and I am just a little spider. What can I do? What can I do? I know what I can do. I will build a web across the entrance of the cave. I am very good at webs, and that will stop the wind. And so the little spider crawled up onto the side of the cave, and she spun her web from one side of the entrance to the other, making every little shape that she had ever made. She worked all through the night, and in the morning, her web was so large it covered the entire entrance. But the silver strands of her web were so thin that they did not block the wind, and she felt as though she had failed. This was her chance, her gift, and it didn't matter. Spider heard voices down below. They were loud and rumbly. Check up there in those rocks. Make sure you examine every crevice. Look inside of the caves. We have orders from King Herod himself to find the carpenter and kill the child. The little spider began to worry. She wished she could protect him. And from inside the cave, Joseph and Mary also worried. The soldiers approached, and they could hear the footsteps growing closer. But those Roman soldiers, they did not want to be out in the cold of morning looking for a carpenter and his child. They pointed over at those rocks and decided to check those. But when they approached the cave, one soldier looked at the other and said, "Don't worry about checking that cave. There's no way a spider could have made a web that large in just one night. Come on, let's go check over here." Well, the little spider, she felt joy. The shepherd, when he was coming up the hill to deliver the donkey to the young family, he felt fear as he saw those Roman soldiers and wondered what had become of the young Christ child. He waited until the soldiers were far away and then approached the cave cautiously. And when he did, he saw that beautiful web across the entrance. It was covered in little drops of moisture that sparkled in the sunlight. He had never seen something so beautiful. And he knew that family was safe. When he approached the cave, Mary told him of the spider's gift and how it had saved their young son. The shepherd carefully removed the web and placed it over his pack. He ushered the young family to the donkey and sent them on their way to Egypt. But the web he took home to his own family. He called his children out and he placed the web over a bush beside their house. And he told them the story of the little spider's gift. "Oh, Father, we must decorate a bush or a tree or something every year to remember the little spider and her gift." And so they did. And some say that the sparkling lights that we put on our Christmas trees today are to remind us of that little spider who, doing exactly what God made her to do, gave the gift that was just right.